There's something going on inside the government that's really wrong, and I can't ignore it. I just want to get this data to the world. Hey. I feel like I'm made to do this, and if I don't do it, then I don't know anybody else that can.
How did you feel when you were researching this?
Yeah, I think it does make me think a bit more about how the internet works, how this new technology works. And look, I tend to be really optimistic about technology. I love computers, I love the internet. It obviously has a lot of really positive impacts on our lives. But every technology can be two-sided. And I do think it's worth kind of taking a minute to think about what might the downsides be of all these new fantastic machines.
Exhibit A. Oakland resident Justin Pinsky posted on a message board, "Romania has a storied history of executing their leaders. Couldn't they do us a solid and take out Bush?" Oh, this looks juicy. This is from a G-chat.
With the biggest python you've ever seen.
How is this all possible?
Keyword selectors. Attack, take out, Bush. So think of it as a Google search, except instead of searching only what people make public, we're also looking at everything they don't. So emails, chats, SMS, whatever.
Yeah, but which people?
The whole kingdom, Snow White.
I think this film does take a very clear line that he is very heroic and very in his actions. Do you feel that is the right portrayal of him?
Well, the first thing I would say is I don't think anybody should take anybody else's word for it. I think you gotta kind of come to a conclusion on your own. And I don't think you'll necessarily arrive at a satisfying conclusion by reading one article or even by watching one movie. You gotta kind of look into it more heavily. I personally think that what he did was a service to our country and to our world. But again, you gotta look into it for yourself.
You actually met him. I mean, you went to talk about that experience of actually meeting him and how that helped formulate your portrayal.
Sure. Well, I got to sit with him for about 4 hours. It's interesting. Edward Snowden is always trying to take the attention off of himself and put it onto the issues that he brings up. But I'm an actor that's gonna play him, you know, so obviously I'm gonna pay attention to him as a human being. I wanted to try to get a sense of just those little things you can learn about a person by watching, you know, how they sit or how they stand or how they talk or how they shake your hand.
Excuse me, ma'am, would you like to sign?
I actually just signed.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you very much.
Thank you. Too much independent spirit for you?
No, I just don't really like bashing my country.
Has he seen the film? Do you know if he's happy with this? Or, I mean, he was involved with it, wasn't it? Oliver Stone went, you know, obviously spoke to him about doing this movie.
Yeah, he was involved, although he wasn't employed. He's not getting paid at all. But he did give feedback on a number of drafts of the script, I know. He spent some time with me. And I have spoken to him since the movie was finished, and he is happy with it, and that really means a lot to me. Because ultimately, what he cares about and what he risked his life for is people having a conversation about the way the government and this new technology interact. And you know, the fact that we're having this conversation, you and I today, means that that he accomplished what he wanted to accomplish.
Right. Do you think you'll know what will happen to him? Does he know? I suppose he doesn't. He's in Russia now, isn't he?
Yeah, he doesn't know. I don't know. But the one thing you can say is he has succeeded, at least in, you know, there has been some baby steps in the right direction. You know, in the U.S. there's a law passed that, you know, the first Snowden leak, which showed that every phone call in America was being tracked and recorded by the NSA, that program was ended by a federal court. You know, so in the 3 years since he did what he did, he has sort of been vindicated in that way. And I think, honestly, that's more important to him than where he lives.
There's something going on inside the government that's really wrong.
Can you at least tell me where you're going? What is it about this that makes it more important than your life?
You have no idea what it's like!
You're looking at a possible death sentence.
I'm asking you to trust me.